This is a Golf Mark 5 GTI with a Subaru engine. Got the sound, it's got the VW looks. Let's dive in and let's see how this has been built. So let's start the beginning. Is it a floor pan swap?
No, made the tunnel slightly larger, made custom brackets to put the original Subaru subframe on. I've got two subframes basically. Right, okay. On the front here because it holds all the power steering rack and what have you. What holds the engine's Subaru. Yeah. And then at the bit at the back that used to have the gearbox mounted to it has been modified to take the Subaru gearbox with mountings on the bottom of it. I see. Rear cradle. R32 rear cradle with Subaru diff mounted into it. Okay, wow. I wanted to retain as much VW as I could because it drives nice, handles fantastic. I've got Bilstein B16 adjustables all round to take the extra bit of weight because it's got a bit of weight to it. Yep. I think this is the only one in the world of these. The fun's in the build. Yeah, exact same as me. Why did you start with a Mark 5 Golf? Because I've already done a Mark 4. What did you do to Mark 4? C20 let in it. Oh, did you really? Yeah, I've got a few pictures of that one. Right, okay. I think it's still going somewhere around Dover way. Okay. That was about 10 years ago. When I was building that, I watched a programme on telly called Chop Shop. Yep. Where they got a Golf and put a Subaru engine in it. I remember. And then they ruined it. For Johnny Vegas, it was the car was astounding, wasn't it? Yeah, but then they ruined it. Yeah. And that got me thinking, Golf, Subaru. So I was Googling it, couldn't find a Mark 5 on the planet. So we got a rusty Subaru. Right. And we've got a nice Golf, so let's go for it. The width of the chassis legs, I've made no modifications. Other than removing a bits of the old engine mounts, it slips straight in. And it's not that. And it is, because Subarus are renowned for the spark plugs getting out, aren't they? Everyone knows that. You can get to them. But it's not that bad. You can get to them. It's not that bad unless. It just looks weird with that big gap, doesn't it? Well, that was another thing. My mate says you need the intercooler up here, and then I needed a bonnet bulge. Yeah. And then it won't look like. No, it won't look. It won't look right. As we pulled up, it just looked completely standard, and you'd never ever know, would you? You'd never know. Did you have to shorten the prop shaft? Yeah, the centre prop was shortened by about 3 inch. Oh, right. Because I said when I walked up, I saw the interior, and I was expecting to see a Subaru interior, thinking it was a full floor, but obviously it's not. And I think I like this better. Like I said, there's two ways of doing them. Because you've got an exhaust tunnel, you can technically put the prop shaft in the exhaust tunnel. And because you've already got an R32 or you've already got a cradle on the rear, he's used basically the R32 or Golf Quattro setup on the rear and just made the diff in there. So with the diff location for the R32 that is the Subaru diff. So he's made an adapter to put that there. So it's Subaru diff, Subaru gearbox, Subaru engine, but using the existing exhaust tunnel and the cradle off the Golf, You've got it? That's what he's done. Sounds weird, doesn't it? You can ignore that. Reverse is down here. Right, okay. Subaru position. 5-speed, 6-speed? 5-speed. Oh, I see you mean by the accelerator pedal's very stiff. You get used to it. It sounds... It shouldn't sound like, should it? That's the thing. It gets everyone looking. Because you would just look at, oh, the Subaru, and it's not, is it? So temperature works, fuel works? Yeah, everything works other than that rev counter. Just rev counter. Just identical. And the bad thing is it drives. It's a little bit in between. It's a little bit in between, and you can physically tell it's in between, which is the weird thing. Because again, is he going to drive like a Mark 5? Is he going to drive like a Subaru? But you can definitely tell. Yeah. That's what I was worried about. I didn't want to lose the Golfness. Because it feels very solid. Yeah. And I salute you for building it. It's nice these people start out there doing this type of thing. Yeah. I've built every single car I've had. I've built myself. Well, I say it's a dying breed, and it annoys me. Yeah, you can. It's the in between of the two, and I can't. It's going to be hard to explain over camera. It's the noise for me. That's what it's all about. That's why I did it. It's more planted than a Subaru. Yeah. Feels a lot more planted. I'll have the Subaru Owners Club going, no, you've just not driven. Well, I've owned a few and I know that.
supposed to, doesn't it?
Yeah, the smell of burning oil that you get with a Subaru.
With a Subaru, yeah. Spare that gaskets in the boot. You have to get them jokes in. Yeah. So I didn't think you'd expect to see this in the engine bay. This is obviously the EJ20 engine, which is obviously the Subaru engine. Which, to be fair, if you actually look at these engines, they are quite narrow. So they're only kind of narrow, but they're very, very wide. It sits very far forward in the engine bay, but it fits really, really well in there. The owner tells me there has been technically no chassis cut out. It fits between the two chassis legs. And if you look at the front, it actually gives clearance for the aluminium Suburator. The Subaru radiator. So what, is it everything you thought it was going to be? Is it everything you wanted it to be?
I'd like to have took it further.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's ready for the next man. The next man can do it because it's pretty much standard other than a air filter, a straight through part.
Okay.
Everything else is standard. Standard ECU, standard everything.
So why did so then? How come you went down the route of building something and not just buying something? Because obviously the VW options, there's millions of them.
Never ever bought what I've wanted. I've always built my own cars.
Okay.
Every single car I've owned, I've built. I started off on Vauxhalls, and then one day I brought a Mark III Golf, and not looked back. It's got a decent system in as well.
Stereo.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how. I mean, I'm 47.
44.
But I feel 19, you know.
I think that's what our face is, and I think that the journey that I'm on with the YouTube is, I'm reliving my youth, having a midlife crisis, as bad as it sounds, but
why not?
I'm enjoying it, and I think we enjoy it.
It's my hobby. I know a load of lads that go down the pub and spend 50 quid every day.
Correct.
No, thank you.
Yeah. No, I have the same discussion with people where they go, "You spent how much on a Corsa?" Yeah, but it's been a journey. I've enjoyed it. I've got something to show for my money, and I'm constantly working on it.
I sit in the garage at night time just looking at it.
Yeah, and then I'm not in the garage, I'm home researching parts and will that work with this, and look, that's what I do.
It's a full-time project,
it is.
Which is never finished.
And it takes over your life. I can imagine the VW purists, they'll like this.
Good.
Because at the end of the day, this has saved another Mark V from who knows what could have happened to it.
Look, the rawness of it already, the feel. Feel it rumble below you, can't you?
Yeah.
Oh, that noise. Oh. I can see why you did it now. I can definitely see why you did it. Oh, that is. You prefer the noise or the looks?
I don't know. I mean, the noise is awesome, obviously.
Yeah, the noise is amazing.
And it was never intended to be a show car.
Was it not?
Not really, no. But
was it just to prove to yourself that you could do it, really?
Well, I've built loads of cars, so I don't like anything standard. I mean, I brought a brand new car. I brought a brand spanking new Mark IV Astra GSI from the showroom.
Oh, wow.
I paid 18 grand for it, and within a week I had it in bits.
Really?
Yeah, different exhausts and airflow and all that business.
It's planted though, exactly like you said, isn't it? Does not move.
Goes round corners like nothing else.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. You can throw it into a corner and it just...
Yeah.
So people who don't know much about Subaru engines, so that there, this edge here is the edge of the engine, and obviously it comes to there. As I say, it's a very, very narrow engine, but obviously because it's the flat 4, it is kind of wide. But obviously that assists in making it look strange in here, because you have all this space at the back where nothing has. Anyone who knows Subarus knows that's obviously where the intercooler sits, but the owner and builder didn't want to do that because it meant he would have to put some kind of vent in the bonnet, which again he didn't want. He wanted the full OEM look on the outside. If you look down in this area, see if I can just look through, this here is the original cradle of the Subaru, which has obviously been adapted to bolt to the chassis legs of the Golf. It runs under the engine, bolts through, supports the engine. He's obviously adapted it to put this rear engine stabiliser on, which has been adapted to the bulkhead. So he tells me that the conversion was done with rear shafts, or the four rear shafts off an R32 engine. And so he's had to make some kind of adapter to go into the gearbox to basically allow that coupling to bolt up. R32 shafts
all round, rear shafts all round.
Rear shafts all round?
Rear shafts all round.
Oh, right.
Exactly the right length.
Wow. And then all you've done is made the internal couplings, the CV couplings.
Yep.
Basically a piece of aluminium with the old spacers, that
no.
kind of thing?
I went up to the scrapyard and I got some drive shaft cups out of some gearboxes, sliced the back end off of them, sliced the Subaru cups in half and had them welded together.
Right, okay, I see.
The guy who did it, proper drive shaft fella, and they hadn't snapped yet.
Wow, okay.
You can't wheel spin it. Them tyres grips are well. You can launch it off the rev counter, just drop the clutch and it'll takes off. Still got the Volkswagen ECU going off as well, they're talking to each other.
What Subaru's out of? That was a question I was...
The car it was taken out of was a 2000, but all the engine out of it, the guy had spent a fortune on it. I've never had that engine apart since I brought it.
Wow. So was it out of a classic?
Surprising.
Yeah, it was out of a classic, but apparently it was out of the engine was, the block's out of a 2004 apparently or something.
So now you built it, you finished it. So have you used it as a daily? And obviously you've mentioned that obviously you had a turbo failure.
The turbo failure was down to myself.
So what's the goal with it now?
Sell it.
Is that you doing?
Yep.
Move on to the next project?
Move on to the next one. I've done a Mark 4, I've done a Mark 5. We're going to skip Mark 6 because they're too much like a Mark 5.
Okay.
Mark 7, mid-engine.
Okay, what engine are we looking at?
Not decided yet. We're looking at Merc, BMW. It's just been sat there, not being used. So.
But it's in really insane condition.
Yeah. Well, when I went out to look for a Mark 5, I was thinking of doing this because I've been thinking about it for years. So I went out looking for a real tidy one. You're going to start with a good one.
Yep.
Not some rusty banger. And then painted it white myself in the garage.
Was it black?
Yeah, same colour as the roof.
Right, okay. That was the original colour of it,
yeah.
black.
How come a GTI and not an R32? Is it just cheaper?
It wasn't particularly cheap though. I paid up for it because it was in such good shape. And then I started chopping it up.
You never ever know what's underneath it. The only thing which kind of gives it a little bit away is the Jap-inspired wheels, which, if I'm being honest, I think they look beautiful on this thing. This sits really well. It is a really, really nice looking build. I love the white. Anyone who knows, obviously my Corsa's white. I think white and black is an ultimate combination. It looks like it's got the R32 style twin exhaust. When you open the bonnet, it blows your mind. And not even that. I think everyone who is a petrol head will understand that when you stood at the side of the road and you can hear this flat floor rumble of a Subaru engine at a distance, you look out and you think, oh, Subaru's coming. And then to have this pull up, it is crazy. I love every second of it. And I also enjoy the fact of the owner, Rob. He's got the same passion as me. He can remember the early Max Power era where everyone built the cars and put the personality into them. It's all about the build. So he's more looking forward to, right, I've done this one, tick it off, I'll get on to the next one. I get it, I do get it. Because like I say, they're starting up and no one going, well, that shouldn't sound like that.
Why's your car sound like that?
Yeah, why's your car sound like that? So you got a misfight? No, he's meant to sound like that. Because it looks so clean and tidy and fits.
It don't look like it's been chucked in for sure.
Was the wiring side a complete nightmare?
No, easy, really easy. Before I took the Subaru engine out of the Subaru, stripped the loom off, finned it right out, made my own standalone wiring loom, made sure I'd run it, took the engine out, plonked in.
So what's your background?
Truck mechanic.
Oh, right, okay.
For Renault Trucks. 27 years at Renault Trucks, and now I work for myself.
So where's the passion then for all this? Was your my era, the Max Power stuff?
Oh yeah.
Right, okay.
Mark II GTs, yeah, it's nothing like it used to be.
Yeah, no, it definitely isn't. That's why I'm enjoying this journey, because people don't build no more. They just want to buy or finance.
I see you can finance a car and get it mapped.
Yeah, it's not the same, is it? But then what I do find on the journey is, this is what people want. They see it, I want one of these, but they won't do the work to do it.
And not a lot of people would actually do it for you either.
No.
I don't think you could find many people to do it, not many crazy people.
Very, very strange conversion, but I love it, because most VW owners have a good selection of basically bolt-on conversions of the R32 engine, the 1.8 turbo. There's so many what I would class as bolt-in conversions that you can do with off-the-shelf parts, and they work, and they're fast, and they're good. But this, as it's completely out the box. You'd never thought of putting a Japanese car with a German car. You'd never thought about it. And this is why I love this journey, to see different people's creations, how they come up with them, why they come up with them. And the story about the TV show Chop Shop is brilliant, because when I watched the episode when they did the Golf Mark II with the floor pan, the minute they rolled it out as the complete car when it was just a really nice looking Golf with the floor pan, it looked amazing. This should have stopped there. And then they wrecked it. In my opinion, brilliant. Love every second of it. Enjoyed being out for the drive in it. It's everything you could ever imagine. So I'll sign this one off. So we'll see us all on the next video.